Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Britain 2020, and embarrassing race for me, I'm afraid, very embarrassing. However, we had a limited grid for this race, as you're just about to see. There they are. So Ollie had some kind of wildlife-related incident that got in the way of his lap time in qualifying. I crashed it. Up at the front, we've got no Samir, but we've got Harry and Dave. James had a very good qualifying. Craig was expected to provide some kind of challenge to the guys up the front as well. Rob was respectable, and away we go. Disney Dave to my right, ahead Ken. Immediately ahead. I'm past Disney Dave. I've made a good start. I'm going to get past Ken there, and we're starting to move between the Renault, and I misjudged John. I'm very, very sorry to John. He turned in a little earlier than I thought, and I just caught his wheel, and that sent him off. So I'm now I've got a little bit of wing damage, that's all. I'm waiting for John to come round. John's buying a ticket for re-entry. John, there he is. Oh, good. So now we can get going again, and immediately there's action later on round the lap. That's Ken going sideways. Ken was going to have a sideways and exciting race, as he often does, actually. So I've got up ahead of Ken, and then things will get even more odd as we approach. This is lap 2, and if we look over to the side, I think we're going to see. So I've got a little bit of a gap, and look over to the side there. There's Dave. That's Disney Dave. He's just putting it around there. So that's lap 2, and I'm up to P7. Craig and Disney Dave had a bit of a moment, and then they're back there. I don't know if you could see that, but that was Ollie going off. He had some kind of difficulty on lap 3 or lap 4. That was also slightly unexplained. So lap 9, and Disney Dave has retired from the session. Sorry to lose him. He brings out the virtual safety car. I believe he met the pit wall in a way that I was going to replicate later on. So off we go after my pit stop, and I am P6. I've got Craig behind me. So Craig's much faster than me. So let's not mess about. Let's see what he can do. Off we go again. Lap 13. It's halfway through the race, and Ken's the man behind me in the order. Craig's up ahead at lap 17, and I can still see him, which is quite nice. So he's up there somewhere. We're both on the hard tyres, which I found a little tricky. And there you go. We can still see him there. Lap 19. Trying to keep it neat. Getting into a little bit of a rhythm now. The rhythm seemed to elude me. Up at the front, Harry's just disappeared. I then get out of the rhythm, find a little bit too much oversteer through cops, and it's all gone very wonky. So that's let Harry go through. So as I say, Harry, he had a pretty cool race, I think, at the front, and I'm about to go for another spin. Oh, the rears, I don't know, just overestimated their grip. Good and Dave had a pretty quiet race too. I think he wound up second. I come out from fixing my wing. I can see John's coming, but apparently that caused John a bit of an issue. He kind of got worried. But here we go. What's happened here is that I'm trying to let James by. Poor James. Ken had gone off on the inside. I don't know if you noticed that. It was a yellow flag, and James had to sort of hold back for a moment because he was worried about passing me under the yellow flag. Lap 23. That's me. Too much curb, and I'm out the race. So terrible race for me, really. But there's Ken. It's just a little later on. Ken's also managed to stick it in the barrier, so another retirement. Meanwhile, the big battle up at the front, you're looking at James trying to catch John, and this is lap 26, and you're just about to see that John picks up a penalty that was going to be potentially crucial. John's picked up a penalty for multiple warnings, but James isn't counting on requiring a penalty. He is counting on the fact that John's tyres might be a little old. James is well into the groove. There's only 2 corners to go. This is one of them. Oh! Through the chicane, and the last corner really, he is here, and John is a little wide, and James has got the inside, and James claims the position on the line. So congratulations to James for that. Congratulations to John on his return there to fourth. He's had very little practice, but he's picked up a fourth. Well done to Rob. Nice race for Rob. Very clean. Craig had a terrible time, unfortunately, I think. So he'll be disappointed with that, especially as he's actually finished behind his teammate. Again, as we saw, Harry, we didn't see much of him. He was just cruising out the front. Guna Dave, a very quiet race too, I think. So the only other excitement was, I think, Ollie's bizarre retirement, as we found out in the end. So congratulations to all those who finished. Nice to see everyone who was there. And well, let's hope to see everybody again next time, and maybe with Sam as well would be good. So thank you very much, and see you next time.